Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. It looks like Team of the Year is starting early this year, and it's bringing an interesting twist with it. Remember those Ballon d'Or loan cards we had last year in FC25? Well, it looks like the same concept is returning for Team of the Year nominees tomorrow. This is a huge deal because we're about to get two full squads worth of Team of the Year nominee players given to us. The key is, how boosted are these cards? We're going to talk about everything that we need to know about these Team of the Year nominees and everything going on with the market related to this, because this could massively crush prices, as you're already starting to see a lot of player prices drop. We're going to talk about that today, of course, at length, but it's a update day today in FC26. We're expecting a gameplay update, the first one in a while, and a big one. We're going to talk about why it's pretty big, and our favorite upgrade pack, aka 85 plus player pick, is going away today. What other content's going to replace that, and what other content might EA have for us on a Tuesday? Let's discuss, guys. There's a lot to get into today. If you're excited for it, drop a thumbs up on the video, hype the video, and subscribe if you are new. Now let's dive into the video today by looking back at yesterday's Monday content, where I can't believe I forgot to mention this in yesterday's video, but we have a new Ultimate Gauntlet, and guys, the packs here are incredible. Perfectly timed pack boost in terms of the rating here by EA, because what a better time to have the best packs we've seen on this game all year: an 88 by 3, an 87 by 3, 85-4, 84-5, and an 82 by 10, all to save for Team of the Year. Fantastic rewards here from EA. We do have one player that's involved here, that is Schmidt, the center defensive mid. You know, some of the other gauntlets have given us better players and also have given us some evolutions, and maybe that's the only thing that's missing a little bit from this set of gauntlet rewards, is a fun little Evo, or a Evo great for chains at the moment. But with how good the packs are and how high rated those are, this is a must complete mode. Even again, I say this every time the gauntlet comes out, this is the most worth it mode to play in terms of the rewards that you can get, the time that it takes to play, and the fun that you have in the mode, because it's 3 different squads you have to use, and you have basically unlimited, it feels like, entries. You have 42 total games to score in 12 of them and win 6 of them. So 42 games, that's a plenty to score in 12 and to win 6 to get the full rewards here. And again, in the win bonus objective, you've got even better packs. You've got awesome packs there with an 84 by 5 as the group reward. Once again, Gauntlet has been knocked out of the park, and it's just, I think, the best mode in gameplay right now. Not necessarily for the gameplay, but for the actual rewards that you get, time for value. Once again, knock yourself out with Gauntlet this week, guys. Get that one done. Get those packs saved. You do have 1 week to play those games. GG's EA for dropping some great rewards there. Can't wait to get into those games starting today on stream and throughout the rest of the week. Now, the rest of yesterday's content is Jonas Hoffman SBC, dropped here as a Time Warp card. Actually, pretty solid card. 4-star, 4-star, cam, center, mid, and striker. Really solid stats. Really good playstyles. The low-driven, incisive, and Tiki. The Tech Plus is good. Maybe needs a couple more playstyles and a little bit of a stat boost through an evolution. Has good rolls as well. But when the price for an SBC like this is 30,000 coins, 2 83 rated squads with 2 informs, you can't be too mad, honestly. It's such better of a price point to put a player like this Jonas Hoffman than it was 2 weeks ago, and with some of the winter wild cards like the Ketelera being 68,000 coins. Like, no, this Hoffman at 30k, that's where some of those cheaper, lesser completed but still interesting player SBCs should be priced at, in my opinion. So GG's EA for making that one cheap as it should be. Also, yesterday we had the 79 plus player pick, and when it comes down to this player pick, it kind of comes down to whether your account likes the winter wildcards or if it likes the player picks better. Test them out. Put your golds into the 79 plus pick, see if you get good pulls, and then also put some golds into the crafting upgrade. See if you get good pulls. I like the crafting upgrade personally, but honestly, it just kind of depends on your account, because some people seem to have way better luck from the picks than they do the packs. So give each a try and see which one works better for you. Now, the rest of yesterday's content, of course, was in objectives and on the EA Pro stream, because the FC Pro Open Group A was live for the second round of group stage action. And of course, as we talked about yesterday, we have 3 players that are going on to the finals from this group. It is Anders Vergang with his pro player of Nunez, Yasko with Cal Freeze, and Tuga with Nuno Tavares. So all 3 of those cards are getting a playstyle plus added. And yes, that's why Darwin's price is up to 92,000 coins, because he is getting a playstyle plus added to his card, along with, since he hit the other upgrade threshold of earning 16 points in the groups, a +1 there, and another +1 with the playstyle plus. So Darwin Nunez is going to a 90 rated card, and he's getting a second playstyle plus. However, there's a catch. There's 3 playstyle pluses that Anders can choose from to upgrade this card: Trickster, Tiki Taka, and Enforcer. And the upgrade of the playstyle plus will not be given out until January 23rd, when all of these individual groups have completed. They'll all get the second playstyle plus upgrade then. So for that reason, Darwin Nunez being up this much does make sense, because when you realize he's going to go to a 90 rated card and probably get Tiki Taka plus, because I would imagine that's what Anders Vergang is going to choose, like, that's worth at least 90,000 coins, maybe if not a little bit more. However, that upgrade's not coming for a couple of weeks, so that probably detracts from some of his value right now. And I think if you do have this card, I would just sell it at the hype before Team of the Year, because of course you could be on the other end of things, and you could be a player who's not getting upgraded anymore, like this Dan James. He's still 90,000 coins. And I mean, he is getting a +1 overall boost because Tex did hit another threshold. He hit 12 points, so that's past 10. Dan James does get a +1 overall, but there's no more upgrades for this card because Tex is out of the competition. And same thing with, I think it's, no, Giroud is in 4th. I mean, he's out too, but all 4th, 5th, and 6th pro players are out, and that means their players will get their final upgrade if they deserve one, and they won't get any after that. So just be careful with these cards. The reason why I wanted to mention this today and kind of talk about the later upgrade for Darwin is because we're going to have these FC Pro groups happening on multiple Mondays upcoming in January still. So keep an eye on players like El Shaarawy, Garnacho, Tonali, some of the other FC Pro live cards. If you know that there's 2 playstyle plus boosts that are on the line, those cards are going to be interesting to keep an eye on, because they could actually start to go up in value as people invest in those. Even with the market dropping, those would be players to keep an eye on at the moment for potential upgrades, since they are live, and 2 playstyle pluses is kind of a big deal. So that was that yesterday. Of course, for the viewership rewards, all you had to do was watch the stream, and you got an 84x5 pack. Put that in your Team of the Year stash, and you're happy and you're good to go with one more of those before Team of the Year. The last part of yesterday's content actually kind of pertains to today on Tuesday, because we're getting a new update, which we expect to drop today. But we first learned of all the details of this update yesterday on Monday, title update v1.4.0. And the biggest change is the AI defending nerf. This is what EA talked about earlier in December, telling us the update would drop in early January. Here we are. EA's back in the office after holiday break, and they're dropping this update. Now, with this before and after comparison, it's hard to tell a big difference on how much the AI defending has been nerfed. It's going to come down to the feel of it. It's going to be a very interesting day today to play the game after the update hopefully goes live and really feel, does the AI actually feel nerfed? Or are people still able to sit with their CDMs and defend with them and, you know, second man press to their center backs to take the ball away? And is it still tough to score around that? We'll have to see. That's going to be more of a feel thing than more of a visual thing, because you're just going to feel like if you have more space and if you're able to dribble more and get past the defender who's being controlled by AI, not the actual user, then, you know, then we'll notice a difference. So that's one thing to watch out for today. That'll be a big part of gameplay that will be addressed in this update. A couple of other things in here: squad battle CPU AI, they'll be a bit more attacking, and they updated the accelerate types. Thank you, EA, for finally fixing this, because one of my favorite Gauntlet rewards from this year, Karim Benzema, should be lengthy. He is tall enough per what EA has listed on their website for the accelerate values. He's tall enough and has a high enough strength stat with a hawk or a marksman chem style to be lengthy, but in game he doesn't show as a lengthy, and he actually is going to now, because EA is fixing that. Players who are 185 centimeters and taller for the men will now be able to be lengthy. The other stuff like the strength minimum and the strength minus agility calculation stat to determine whether they're lengthy, controlled, or explosive, none of that's changing. It's just the height requirement for men and women's players is changing and being lowered a little bit, which is very, very nice, because that'll make Benzema actually feel faster when he's sprinting, because he will be a lengthy accelerate type. So I'm a big fan of that. Also, shoulder challenges between players with large strength attribute differences will more often result in the player with the lower strength attribute stumbling which is very interesting. We're talking about stumbling because we just had the balance Evo released 30 times repeatable, so that might offset some of that. But this makes you think that maybe a higher strength stat is going to be more important now, and potentially the bruiser playstyle with also advanced defending. The X tackle, which is kind of the shoulder charge tackle, may be even more usable in game now. I even had struggles with cards like Chiellini earlier on this year. I don't think I have in my team right now, but I didn't like Chiellini with the Bruiser Plus, and I wasn't a huge fan of Bruiser Plus because it just felt like sometimes the animations would glitch out, and maybe that's what was cleaned up with this here. We'll just have to see what's going on there. And then also, thank you, EA, for finally reducing the accuracy of the acrobatic bicycle kicks after a volley or a rainbow flick. That is great to see that has gone away, or at least being nerfed. Hopefully it is going away now, because that is probably one of the most annoying things in this game, that was overpowered, and pros were using that in events, and there was even some beef between pros that was going on earlier. That was crazy, but thankfully that is going away, and hopefully gone entirely with this update. The last thing to mention from this update is there's going to be a new release hub inside of Ultimate Team, which kind of tells you about the new content that was released at any certain maybe day or maybe certain weekend. We'll have to wait and see how much this gets updated, but it's basically like what we talk about in the videos here. This was the new content for the last day or the current day, and then maybe how we have in the Twitch chat or the YouTube chat on the live streams, like a content overview of what happened. That's kind of what this seems to be, but this isn't actually dropping today. It's going to be dropped later in a server release a few weeks after this title update. So the biggest thing for the update, if it does indeed drop today, will be the AI defending. So let me know, you guys, down in the comments, how you feel AI defending has been changed with that new patch, that new update today. Now, let's get to the big news, guys, which broke yesterday, as we are now 1 day away from Team of the Year voting actually starting. We're all getting Team of the Years early, guys, and the loans, the concept of giving us loan cards for a certain number of days, is coming back as well. This tweet started it all off. ASY Foot Trader said Team of the Year nominee loan picks are coming soon, available tomorrow from the start of Team of the Year voting, and the loans are out for 7 days. Now, this is what's pretty crazy. The picks where we will get these loan cards, it's a 3 of 27 attackers pick, a 3 of 35 midfielder pick, and a 4 of 20 defenders pick. So what it sounds like is we are going to be all getting a player pick. Maybe it's the form of a pack that we open and then a player pick opens up. We're all going to be opening these exact same player picks and choosing whichever loan cards we want out of these picks for players who are all nominated to be in Team of the Year. So I think this is separate from our normal Team of the Year vote. I still think we're going to have a website where we actually, put the players on the squad and have the screenshot, and that's how we actually vote for our Team of the Year. But I think this is another part of that where we will get these men's and women's picks, and we'll all get to choose 3 or 4 players from the certain position and build out a whole entire squad times 2, because it's men's and women's, of these loan cards. Now, this reminds me of what happened last year in FC 25 of the Ballon d'Or event. Remember these cards, right? Where we had a men's pick and a women's pick, and you got to choose one from each side, and you got one of these players to use for a week. And you got to use them in Foot Champs. They were unlimited games, and they only expired at the end of the week. That's the same concept here with these Team of the Year nominee loans. However, this was a bit more random because there was, 10 cards in each player pick, 10 for the men and 10 for the women, and it was a 1 of 5 pick. So you could have different cards in each player pick depending on, who was opening it, right? Last year I had Vinny and I had Graham Hansen. Some of you guys had Mbappe, and some of you guys had Sama Parluelo from your picks. It was just random, right? Because it was a player pick. But these are all going to be exactly the same. The biggest question that we have with these now is, how good are they going to be? And that's the thing that we do not know yet. We are officially waiting for the official stats to be released on what these Team of the Year nominee cards are going to look like, because they could look really crazy. I don't think they're going to be like Team of the Year cards with 3 playstyle pluses. I think that's a Team of the Year card for Lamine Yamal right there. We don't even know if Team of the Years are going to be getting 3 playstyle pluses, but this is the official design for the Team of the Year nominees, and probably the best guess for me with these cards is they're going to be either the same rating as the golds or maybe 1 rating above. And if that's the case, in an attacker's pack, who are you going to choose? If it's Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Lamine Yamal, you're going to be choosing at least Mbappe, because Mbappe's 91 rated base card. Let's say they do give these cards a +1 overall. A 92 Mbappe that you get to use for a week, everybody's going to pick that card to try him out. And you can tell that's what people are thinking because of all the players that are expected to be in the Team of the Year vote, which we do not have lists of yet. We're going to have full lists soon, I'm sure, and a whole bunch of player names, and we're going to know who's in as nominees very soon. But all the players that are expected to be in are getting cooked in price. This Mbappe was 1.3 mil plus yesterday, and now he's 1.2 mil, under 1.2 million coins, all because the fear is everybody's going to have a loan version of Mbappe, so they won't need the gold. Or everybody's going to have a loan version of Ousmane Dembele or Lamine Yamal or Rafinha, so they won't need that version. I'm even getting really risky with it right now and potentially trading with a Vitinha, who's probably going to be in this vote as well. Even on the women's side of things, you think about Alexia Putellas, right? She's probably going to be in this. Bon Mati. Those cards are going to be dropping in value because of this as well. That's the real market issue with these player picks here. And also, if these cards are really that good, like let's say they are +1s over the base gold versions of a lot of these players, then there's not going to be very much demand for this version of Putellas or this version of Putellas or any of these versions of Ousmane Dembele for the next week. If people are scared to spend their coins on cards, which you've already seen a lot of prices drop on the market because of the fear of Team of the Year that is already setting in. But if you have another reason to not be buying cards because EA just gave out free ones to all of us through these player picks, the market is going to get even more cooked because of that. So I'm glad we started talking about selling cards yesterday. The market itself right now just feels like it is in a downward trend, a downward spiral of prices dropping. And I pulled up this card for Christian Eriksen back in FIFA 20 because this is when Team of the Year nominees were a simple +1. And this is what I mean by a +1 over their gold card. Like literally a +1, maybe with a dynamic image, but a simple +1 to every single face stat on the card. No other upgrades except a +1. That's kind of the old Team of the Year nominee thing that they did back then in FIFA 20. So I'm wondering if that happens with these cards this week with the Team of the Year nominees. But that is the biggest question. So really, we wait to see what the actual stats on those Team of the Year cards are going to look like, and that'll determine kind of what happens for the rest of the market this week, if we're being completely honest, guys. So watch out for those leaks today. We're going to be talking a lot more about that on the stream. If the stats are crazy good, that's just going to make the market fall even further. If the stats on the players are the same as their gold card, then that actually might make a few of the special cards, like the special version of Vitinha, the special version of Putellas, actually go up a little bit. Because if the cards aren't going to be worth using, then, you know, some of their other items may go up. But even if the stats like are +1s, I think with Team of the Year being soon, with the vote happening and all the hype with that, I think that some of these cards could continue to drop more. So it's use caution. Be very careful out there on the market. I'm being very risky right now trying to trade with one of these Vitinhas. I know there's some pro events that are going on. So maybe if you're a pro and you're looking to buy a team for the ladder or for like a pro event this weekend, like try to time the drops and try to get a price that is just down a ton. You might be able to save yourself some coins doing that. But for the rest of the market, even the lower tier, the cheaper tier stuff, like if EA is giving out these loan cards, there's going to be little to no demand for buying a lot of teams. Even the cheaper cards, even somebody who's like just getting on the game today is going to see that they're getting these loan player picks and they get to choose insane players and use Mbappe and use Ousmane Dembele and Putellas and Bon Mati and maybe even a Team of the Year nominee Claudia Pina card. That's going to really hurt the demand for the entire rest of the market. Expensive cards and cheaper cards. So I'm really curious to see what the stats are going to look like for these players when they do get dropped. Now, kind of transitioning away from that Team of the Year nominee conversation, the last thing that we have to look at is a Team of the Year warm-up leak. This is the first leak that has been signified as a part of Team of the Year warm-up, which we'll talk more about that later on this week and into next week as well, because that's usually kind of the build-up into the actual start of Team of the Year. It's kind of like a small mini promo inside of the Time Warp promo. That'll probably start next week on like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. But Lucio is leaked as an SBC that will come out before Team of the Year. And Lucio this year, there's a lot of mixed opinions on his card. He's always one of the biggest center backs that is a hero that everybody looks to try to get each year. But this year, without having anticipate or intercept, a lot of people say that he's not very good, but then others say that he's really, really good. He's only 300,000 coins on the market, around 400K actually at the moment. So hopefully his SBC comes in at like 300 to 350K, and it could be worth completing if that's an emotional player for you. But I think for me, it's going to be a skip. Personally, I just wanted to shout out that leak there because that is a big hero in the name of Lucio. So, real big thing that we're watching out for today is news on the Team of the Year nominees. We're going to be watching that very closely. We'll be talking about that a lot in the stream today for sure. But also, we'll be looking for new Tuesday content, which, as we mentioned earlier in the intro, our favorite upgrade pack SBC is going away once again. That's the 85 plus player pick. It's expiring today, guys, and what is probably going to replace it is the 85 plus times 2 pack, which they came out with last time. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's an 86 plus pick or something, or even just the 85 plus pick refreshing, but odds are it'll be the 85 times 2, which is bad for saving for packs, which you could save it for Team of the Year, which may be less annoying than an 85 plus pick because it's not in your unassigned. But the 85 times 2s just did not have that great of weight, but it could be good if you invested in Team of the Weeks, because the last time the 85 times 2 came out, it required Team of the Week cards. They are still low. They are 12,000 coins, and I think they are still a very good investment. 12,250 actually, a little bit lower right now. If that 85 times 2 comes out today and requires a Team of the Week, I do believe that these cards could actually see more of a rise later on this week than what we're seeing right now. They really haven't risen at all this week. They're still 12K. So that could be an interesting one there. Of course, an SBC that nobody would want to skip right before Team of the Year. And then also for content today on Tuesday, we got to look at our leaked player SBC list. We're down to Dante and Marta Torrejon as the SBCs that we have not seen yet, that we're expecting in this week 1 of the promo. Vidal maybe is still coming out. Still seems a bit crazy that they would drop that SBC on a random Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, because Alexis Sanchez, of course, is predicted to be in the second week of this promo, but we'll see what ends up happening today. And since we did not have an evolution yesterday, I think there's at least a shout that we could have an Evo drop today as well. Keep an eye on the leaks on Twitter for that one. Maybe another little chain evolution that we can do 30 times for a shooting stat, right? We haven't had a defending stat as a focus here. We've had a passing, dribbling, and a physical stat with I can see you, vision, balancing act, balance, and the stamina Evo. Maybe something defending or shooting related will be dropped today, and that'd be very nice for some Evo chains, so watch out for that. But that's going to be the video for me today, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about these Team of the Year nominees. I think the idea is cool. I mean, the loan cards in FC25, those were hit or miss. Some people liked them. Others really did not like them. I'm really curious to see what EA do with this concept, because if they're doing something similar to those loans from last year again, then they must have felt like it was a success. So, by the way, I think these cards are just going to be given out to us in the player picks since they're loans. I don't think we'll have to complete SBCs or do objectives to do them. I could be wrong, but I think these are just going to be given out to us as player picks that we will log in tomorrow and just see. So more on that, of course, today on the stream. If you want to come by the stream and talk about this all with us, make sure to drop a follow on the Twitch or just subscribe here on YouTube. We'll be live about an hour before content to get involved with all of the madness of Team of the Year voting. We're almost there, guys. The countdown is on. If you enjoyed this video, drop a thumbs up on it, comment down below if you have any questions, and of course, subscribe if you're new. It's been TheFutAccountant. I'll see you guys in a stream today. Peace out.